Hi, my name is Nicole Lariscy. I am your literature teacher online. I am going to give you an introduction to how to take literature from me in an online format in this video. There will be other videos to come, probably, though in the summer sometimes things get so fast I try to simplify it, so it just depends on when you're taking the course from me. I want to go over some basic policies that I have for all of my literature classes, EH216, which is the Introduction to Literature, EH223, which is American Literature 1, the beginning of American Literature to 1865, EH224, which is American Literature 2, 1865 to the present. Those are the main ones I teach, though. Sometimes I teach others. So what I want to do is talk to you really about how to do well in the classroom and what my expectations are, what my involvement is going to be, and what it's not going to be. So your first thing that you're going to do when you log on to either Blackboard or Canvas, right now it's Blackboard, soon it will be Canvas, is to read the syllabus. And the second thing is to watch this video. And the third thing is to look at what's in course content and the things that I've posted there. And the fourth thing is to look at the discussion board, which the discussion board is where all of your homework is posted, where all of your work is really done. So I want to just go through some general policies. I want to say good job getting here. You've passed Composition 1 and 2 with at least a C average, and then you can come into this classroom and take some literature. I want to also say that survey classes are hard. Survey literature classes are difficult. You have to read a lot. There's just no way around it. So just be prepared to read and to read with some stamina. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So get some reading habits. If you look on course content, there will be something called SQ3R, which is a reading method outlined to help you make progress. If you feel like you might not be able to read fast enough or well enough fast enough, try that method out, have a look at that, and talk to me about it. But there's a little bit of advice there. Again, that's called SQ3R. If you look at your syllabus, you see that it begins by telling you what supplies you need to have. Sometimes you need a textbook, sometimes you don't. So check that out on your syllabus. It also says that you can, I have office hours. In the summer when I'm only teaching online, I don't have in-person office hours, but I do have, I make myself available to you on my cell phone. So that means that wherever I am, you can find me. I just ask you to, I'm going to try and ignore those dogs. I ask you to call me or text me only within limited hours, not before 9 a.m., not after 7 p.m., not on holidays, and but I do encourage you to call me and text me and certainly email me. So it's going to be your job to contact me when you want more feedback from me. I'm not going to be holding your hand through this. So that's the main thing I need you to know. So the next thing is I want to talk to you about what's called the inverted or flipped classroom. And your syllabus will explain a lot about that, but basically that takes the responsibility, not the responsibility, but the reins away from the professor and puts them into the student's hands. You're going to get as much out of this class as you can give in. Studies have shown over and over again that when students generate their own knowledge rather than take notes on a lecture, then they know things better, they know better things, and they keep it for longer. So you're going to own your knowledge in this classroom. You're going to be motivated by inquiry, by asking good questions, by answering questions in ways that have integrity, that you're going to push it in directions that are motivated by you. I'm not going to spoon feed you. I'm not going to give you a handout and then ask you to memorize the handout. So I want you to really bring as much of your thought capability as you can to the classroom. One of the things that's really important about the literature classroom, as I have set it up, is that you are a good writer, that you write confidently, that you write diligently, that you write, again, with integrity. If you don't feel like you're a good writer, you need to be in contact with me. You need to be in contact with the Writing Center, because while I'm not grading the discussion posts for things like grammar, they do need to have quality content, and you need to be making the most of every sentence at every turn. And so that's really important to me. So if you think, okay, I just have to write for these essays and they don't have to be that good because they're only a certain percent of the class, that's where you're wrong. You need to be putting your critical thinking to work at every moment, so that what you have brought to the discussion board will be improved when you bring it to the test, will be improved even more when you bring it to the essay. So the flipped classroom puts a lot of responsibility in your hands. So the process for the flipped classroom, as I've got it online, is that you do the reading assignments, and sometimes those are reading assignments that are in your textbook, sometimes they're online, and sometimes it's to view a film or a video. So you read or watch your assignment, then you go to the discussion board and you answer what will be a very complex set of questions, usually requiring you to do 3 or 4 paragraphs of an answer, sometimes requiring you to do a little bit of Google research. But the way I ask the questions, unless you're being lazy, unless you didn't read well, unless you just don't care, you're really probably not going to get it flat wrong. So when you put yourself into it, you can find the answers to the questions. And it's not that there aren't any wrong answers. And sometimes I will warn you, hey, this might look like the right answer, but it'll be really wrong. But it is mostly that if you're thinking about it and you're making an argument and you're really responding with integrity to the text, then you're probably going to be on the right track. And so then you're going to read other students' responses to the same questions. Read as many as you can. Usually I'll require you to read 7 or 8. And you're going to compare your answers to theirs, and you're going to see that some answers are better than others, and some answers are consistently what's come up with students, and some are like way far afield. If you like that really way far afield answer to the question, you might ask me, hey, Dr. Lariscy, what do you think about this answer? It doesn't seem to be consistent with the others, but is it wrong? So that's the next thing you do. You ask me questions. You compare the answers. You inquire of your professor, and that's the biggest part of the flipped classroom for me. You will come to me. You will say, what do you think about this? And we'll have a dialogue. So then, don't get me wrong, students have made A's without ever contacting me for the whole semester, but other students have gotten frustrated because they haven't had enough of my time, they felt, but those same students have never contacted me. So if you begin to wonder where I am and you want to know what I'm thinking, you contact me and we'll have discussions. We'll have phone conversations, we'll have email conversations, we'll text. If we're both in town at the same time, we'll meet for coffee. Okay, so that's going to be up to you. Then the same questions that you do for the discussion post for homework will be the same questions that show up on your test. You won't have to answer all the questions from homework on your test, but some of them. And I'll give you a study sheet focusing those questions. For instance, in a discussion post, if you have 3 or 4 parts to a question, I might only give you 2 for the essay. So I'll refine the questions and focus them better for the test. And then you will refine your questions and develop them more fully into more advanced thinking for the test. And from those questions also, I will devise reading an essay assignment that is loosely linked to the discussion post. So you see, you're doing the same knowledge on the text over and over again. And your answers are getting stronger because you have a chance to practice, compare it with others, ask me, do further research, and revise. And so it's a process-oriented development of good critical analysis of reading. How to excel. Contact me often. Hold your reading and writing to a high standard. You can revise a paper. If you do poorly on a paper or you don't do as well as you think you should, let me know. We'll talk about it. You can revise it. It'll be due at the end of the semester, but we do have to talk about it. But if you wanted an A and you got a B, you can revise it. If you wanted a C and you got an F, You can revise it. You just have to talk to me about it. So that's just on the papers, though. The test, you can't retake the test, unfortunately. Oh, and also on the papers, you can take it to the Writing Center, and the Writing Center does have online tutoring, and if you get tutored with your papers, you get a 5-point bonus on each paper that you do that with. The distribution is 20% on the discussion, 10% on the first paper, which is shorter, 30% on the second paper, which is longer, and then 20% on each of the 2 tests. So you see how that's pretty evenly distributed. You can get the bonus points from the Writing Center, but you can also get up to 5 bonus points for going to see a play and writing a review on the play. I want you to review the acting and the set design, though, so that I'm sure you're reviewing something that you have actually seen. And you can do that for 1 bonus point on your final average each time for up to 5 times. You're writing 2 essays. The first one is going to be 500 words about. The second one is going to be 1,000 words about. And, you know, within about 100 to 50 words, you know, minimum, maximum, just get close to it. The 2 tests, the final is not comprehensive, so they're pretty much the same test distributed evenly. Reading, if you don't read, you're not going to keep up in the course. There's a detailed plagiarism policy in the syllabus. I hope you have a look at it. And then I hope you stay in contact with me, and I hope you do so soon. If you start struggling, listen to me. If you start struggling, you tell me as soon as you start struggling. You don't wait until the end of the semester and tell me what a bad time you have, because it will be too late for me to help you. My goal is for you to learn this material and to get these skills, and I will figure out a way for you to do it if you ask for help when it's happening. The last couple of days of the class, I just can't help you. So stay in contact with me. Good luck. Talk to me often. If you look at your schedule, you'll see that I've given you 1 to 4, sometimes 5 assignments a week. And all of those things are going to be due on Friday at midnight every week, unless there's a holiday that ends up on Friday and then I moved it to Monday. So, for instance, you might have to, for the first week, read and watch the introductory video and then do 1, 2, 3 discussion posts with 1, 2, 3 different reading assignments. But there won't ever be more than 3 discussion posts. Sometimes there are only 2 because you might be working on an essay or you might be preparing and taking a test. So I hope that this gives you some tips on how to do well and helps you realize that this classroom is maybe a little bit different than you're accustomed to, in that I'm not holding your hand, and that my expectations for you are to be self-motivated and to initiate conversations and dialogue with me, and I'm here for you. So read the syllabus and let me know if you have any questions. Good luck, stay strong, get a schedule, and have hope. It should be fun. All right.